I remember I had a professor at Temple who she meant well, and she used to say to me, "But don't say ever that you are un Marielito." And I said to her, "No, I'm sorry. I am a Marielito. That's part of my identity as a person, as a Cuban, as an individual. You know, I cannot refuse that. You leave Cuba whenever you can, if you can." And that was my chance. And I really thank God every day of my life for having been able to leave Cuba when I did. As much as I thank God for having been able to return, even under the worst possible situation, but to go back. And I mean, it was a tremendous, to me, it was tremendous to go back to my country, to see my people, even though that was very painful, but I don't know, there is something there that is so important, you know, which that's what I think is so criminal for a regime to force people to either with me or against me, you know. But yeah, I am a Marielito through and through. And I helped many Marielitos when I was in a better situation. There were many Marielitos who, that's the other thing, I discovered, which is interesting. I didn't discover this in Cuba, but I discovered how many younger people, or young people, many younger than myself, who came during the Mariel, contrary to the rhetoric that everybody was so well educated and everybody was so, many of those kids were not well educated. I even encountered at least two who were almost illiterate. And there were people who were born even after I. But yes, absolutely, with all its faults and all that, I think that the Marielitos made a great contribution as a whole to the society, to the places where they have located, both the gays and non-gays, but particularly the gays who were so discriminated because at some point they became a burden. I don't know if you remember that initially the press in general was very, I guess, tolerant, but then there was a around of, you remember that? Mm-hmm. And then even in the Cuban community, many families and other people started, you know, reacting to that because they didn't want to be branded, you know. So, but in the end, starting with Reinaldo Arenas, but Reinaldo Arenas is not the only one. There were many others, writers, painters. Pedro Pablo Peña, who recently died, was the creator of the Classical Ballet of Miami, and so many others. So those people were the undesirables in Cuba, and they came here and they made themselves, you know. So I think that's a very important, not only but as a human being, you know. I think that as humans, you know, face all that crap and then build yourself. Others could not, but I think the majority put themselves, you know, up. And to me, that's, yeah, I'm a Marielito.